Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to create a SharePoint list using the PnP PowerShell module. This is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to manage SharePoint resources through scripting. What is PnP PowerShell? PnP PowerShell is a cross-platform PowerShell module that allows us to manage Microsoft 365 services, including SharePoint Online. It makes it super easy to automate repetitive tasks, such as creating lists, libraries, or even entire sites. Alright, let's jump into the demo. As you can see, I've opened the official PnP PowerShell documentation, which will guide us through the commands we're going to use. Here, you can see that the first step is to install the PnP PowerShell module, and we can do that with this command. In the Commands tab, you can see there are multiple commands available that you can use for different M365 products operations perform. Now if I search for connect-pnponline, you'll see the documentation for the command we use to connect to our SharePoint site. If I click on it, it shows me the full syntax of the command and all the parameters we can use. Here you can see I've opened my SharePoint site called Test Site. On this site, I want to create a new list and add some fields using PowerShell scripting. Here, you can see that I've created an app registration in Azure Active Directory under App Registrations. Why are we using this app registration? Well, it's used to authenticate our scripts securely with SharePoint Online, so we can run commands without manually entering credentials every time. But if you check the documentation, you'll see that for secure authentication, we need the client ID parameter, which comes from the app registration we just created. In the app registration, we also need to configure SharePoint permissions and make sure they are granted, so our script can access the site securely. Now let's see how to execute the script and go through the steps one by one. Here in Visual Studio Code, you can see that I've created a PowerShell script file where we'll write the commands to create the SharePoint list. First, we need to import the PnP PowerShell module into our session. Next, we use the connect-pnponline command with parameters like the site URL and client ID to securely connect to our SharePoint site. Next, you can see that I'm defining the list name as employee list and setting the template to generic list. Now, we create the list using new-pnplist. We specify the title with $list title, the template with $list template, and use on quick launch so the list appears in the site's navigation. Here, we're using get-pnplist to check if the list was created successfully. We store the result in the $list exists variable and use error action silently continue to avoid showing errors if the list doesn't exist. Next, we check if the list was created successfully. If it exists, we print a message saying the list was created successfully, and then add some columns. Here we're adding three fields: name, email, and city, all as text columns and adding them to the default view. After that, we display a confirmation message saying the fields were added successfully. If the list wasn't created for some reason, we show an error message indicating that the list was not created. Finally, we use disconnect-pnponline to safely disconnect our PowerShell session from the SharePoint site, and confirmation message script executed. Now let's run this script and see how it works in action. When we run the script, here you can see a login pop-up appears asking us to select an account to authenticate with SharePoint. Now you can see that the script is taking a few moments to execute. Now let's check into SharePoint site. Is their list created or not? I just refreshed this page. And here you can see that the employee details list has been created successfully on the SharePoint site. You can also see that all the specific columns we added, like name, email, and city. And that's it. We've successfully created a SharePoint list using PnP PowerShell, added custom fields, and verified it on the site. Using scripts like this makes managing SharePoint fast, consistent, and easy. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more quick tips.